Good day, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are all feeling okay. Thank you for the time you spared to watch this video. So please find a comfortable place where you can watch this video, and I appreciate it if you take down notes also. So let's begin. Today, we will discuss a new topic, which is listening, and it is one of the language skills. We will tackle our first topic revolving around second language listening comprehension, a process, and pedagogy. So, first, let us define what is listening. So, listening is a critical receptive language skills that also plays a important role in communication and language acquisition. So, it involves the ability to understand and interpret spoken language, which is essential not only for everyday interactions but also for academic and professional success of the students. So, effective listening skills enable individuals to follow conversations, comprehend the lectures, and engage in discussions. And we talk about listening in the context of language learning. Listening is often the first skill that learners develop. Now, let's move on to listening skills and listening strategy. So, listening skills are described as acquired abilities that enable a person to listen attentively without a great deal of deliberate effort or conscious planning. So, it means that effective listening or listening skill is not just a passive activity, but rather an active process that can be developed and improved over time through practice and intention. So when we talk about a listening strategy, it is the careful planning of methods of listening that are consciously adapted to enhance comprehension and communication. So these listening strategies are particularly useful in overcoming listening difficulties. So indicating that listening is a skill that involves both understanding the message being communicated and engaging in a way that facilitates clear and effective interaction. But there are specific actions one can take to become a better listener, which may include focusing on the speaker, avoiding distractions, and actively processing the information being shared. Now let's proceed to the types of knowledge that support listening comprehension. So these are important to understand spoken language effectively. So the first type is knowledge of language. So when we talk about knowledge of language, it refers to the understanding of vocabulary, grammar, and syntax that allows individuals to decode the linguistic information being conveyed. So this includes recognizing words and the meanings of the words, as well as understanding how these sentences are structured. So the second type is knowledge of discourse and language use. So when we talk about this, it involves understanding how language is used in different contexts. So recognizing the purpose of a conversation and interpreting the subtleties of spoken communication. So this also includes the ability to follow the flow of ideas, understand the rhetorical devices used, and interpret the language such as idioms or sarcasm. So these two types of knowledge are important for effective listening comprehension because it enables listeners to not only grasp the literal meaning of the words and sentences, but also to understand the speaker's intent or the emotional tone and such. So this two knowledge base is what allows students or individuals to engage in meaningful conversations, and It is also a reminder that listening is an active process that requires both the linguistic competence and the contextual awareness. Now let's move on to the six core skills that are integral to the listening process. This is identified by Van de Grief and Go in year 2012. So these skills are important for effective listening. So first, listen for details. So this skill involves focusing on specific information within the conversation, such as the facts, the figures, and other particulars. Second is listen globally. So it refers to the ability to understand and the overall message or the big picture of what is being communicated. Third is listen for main ideas. So this skill is about identifying the central themes or the key points in a discussion. So the fourth one is listen inferentially. So it involves reading between the lines and making inferences based on the information provided. And fifth one is listen and enjoy. So this is about appreciating the listening experience with whether it is a music, a story, or a conversation. The sixth one is listen critically. So it entails evaluating the content of what is being heard, questioning assumptions, and considering the validity of the arguments. So these skills contribute to a comprehensive listening experience. So it enables students to engage and respond to spoken communication in many or in a variety of ways, from enjoying the content and to critically analyze it. Okay, so let us discuss the 12 strategy taxonomies in L2 listening. So this outlines a comprehensive set of strategies to enhance listening skills and second language learning. First one is predicting. So this strategy involves anticipating what will to be heard next, and it also helps learners or listeners to prepare for the incoming information and connect it with their existing knowledge. And the second one is evaluating. So in this strategy, listeners assess the information they hear, judging its relevance and accuracy. So this also helps in discerning important points from less critical details. And the third one is monitoring attention. So this strategy is about maintaining focus on the listening task and being aware of one's level of understanding and adjusting the strategies that is needed. The fourth one is elaboration. So this involves expanding on what is heard by relating it to one's own experiences or knowledge, which aids in deeper understanding and memory retention. And the fifth one is inferring. So listeners use this strategy to deduce meanings that are not explicitly stated. So it is based on the context clues and their own knowledge. The sixth one is collaboration. So in this strategy, students engage with others to discuss and clarify the content can enhance comprehension and retention of the material. And seventh is prediction. So it is also similar to predicting. So this strategy is about forecasting future content or the direction of a conversation, which can also prepare the listener for what comes next. And next is reorganizing. So this strategy involves structuring the information heard in a way that makes sense to the listener, often by summarizing or categorizing the content. And next one is note taking. So this strategy is all about writing down key points that help listeners to remember important information and also provides a reference for a later review. And next is using linguistic and learning resources. So this strategy includes utilizing tools such as dictionaries, textbooks, or language learning apps to support comprehension. And next is cooperation. So this strategy is all about working together with peers or instructors that can provide additional perspectives and insights in aiding understanding. The last one is managing emotions. So this strategy is all about recognizing and regulating one's emotional responses to what is heard that can prevent misunderstanding and improve the listening experience. So these 12 strategies are designed to work together to create a framework for improving the listening skills of the students, particularly in the context of learning a second language. Teaching listening skills in a classroom setting involves a strategic approach that caters to the different learning styles of the students that also encourages active participation. So, there are two complementary methods for planning lessons to teach listening. The first one is task-based metacognitive instruction. So under this method, is the first one is one-way listening task. So in this method, it focuses on non-interactive metacognition. So this is where students engage with an audio or video materials individually. And this method also develops their ability to process and also understand information without external input. And teachers can also facilitate this by providing diverse listening materials such as podcasts or lectures, and also guiding students to reflect their understanding and thought processes as they listen. And under this method also is the two-way listening task. So on the other hand, this task involves interactive and participatory. So the students in this task involves in activities that require not just listening but also responding, such as activities like group discussions, debates, or role playing exercises. Now, this method also develops a dynamic learning environment where students can practice active listenings and develop their communication skills by interacting with their classmates or peers. And the second method in planning lessons and teaching listening is the metacognitive pedagogical sequence. So it is an effective method that involves four key processes. These are planning, monitoring, evaluating the process, and evaluating the outcome. So during the planning phase, teachers can set the stage for listening by discussing the topic and sharing the objectives and preparing students for the type of content they will hear. And this anticipatory step helps students to focus and have a purposeful listening experience. Next one is monitoring comprehension. So this stage is important because students engage with the listening material. So the teachers can encourage students to be um, self-aware of their understanding, prompting them to identify parts they find challenging and to use strategies like note taking or following along with a transcript or a handout. The third one is evaluating the process. So this involves the uh, reflecting on the listening activity itself. So the teachers can um, facilitate group discussions where students share their experiences, discuss their difficulties on the activities, and suggest improvements. This not only helps in assessing the effectiveness of the listening task, but also promotes peer learning. And lastly is evaluating the approach and outcome. So it allows students to reflect on their personal listening strategies and their overall success of the task. So the teachers can facilitate or can guide, support students to consider what worked well and what didn't. And also how they can adapt their strategies for future listening tasks. So by incorporating this sequence into the lesson plans or in lesson planning, Teachers can help students develop a deeper understanding of listening as an active process and equip them with the skills to become more effective listeners. Now, let us proceed to the 5 stages in listening. So, the process begins with first one, pre-listening. So this involves preparing mentally for the listening activity. So in this stage, it sets the context and um, prompts the listener for what is to come. And the second stage is first listen. So this is the initial exposure to the audio material. So this is where the listener gets a general sense of the content without focusing too much on the details. So it's about getting an overall understanding and picking up on the main ideas. So in this stage also it involves planning and predicting. So this is where learners anticipate what they will hear next based on the context and on based on their prior knowledge. And this stage engage the listener's critical thinking and helps them to stay focused and involved with the learning material. And this also involve monitoring, evaluation, and planning. So it's all about actively assessing one's understanding during the listening process and adjusting strategies accordingly. So the listeners may decide to re-listen to the certain parts or pay closer attention to specific details they may have missed. And the third stage is the second listen. So this stage allows um, second verification. So it allows learners to confirm their understanding of the material. So they might review their notes, discuss it with their peers, or answer questions to ensure that they have accurately comprehended the information. Now, let us proceed to the next stage, which is the third listen. So, in this stage, it implies repeated engagement with the material, which could be important for deep understanding and ensure accuracy in comprehension. It also emphasizes the importance of revisiting the content to catch some nuances or details that may have been missed previously. And under the stage is the monitoring and problem solving. So, meaning it indicates an active and dynamic approach to listening where individuals are encouraged to not only passively receive information but also actively engage with it. So, identify the areas of confusion and seeking solutions. And under the stage also is the third version. So this could refer to the iteration of understanding or responses, suggesting that suggesting initial interpretations or solutions that can be refined and improved upon with further consideration and analysis. And the last stage, our fifth stage, is evaluation and planning. So it involves a reflective look at the process. It assesses what has been effective and what could be changed, followed by strategizing for future encounters with similar tasks or challenges. And under this stage involves reflection. So reflection is a deeper or more introspective stage where one considers their own cognitive and emotional responses to the listening experience. It leads to personal insights and growth. And under this stage also is the goal setting. So it is all about looking forward or establishing clear objectives based on the insights gained from the previous stages and planning actionable steps to achieve these goals. So, in a classroom situation, these stages can be taught through a series of activities that can guide students through um, each step that can develop a comprehensive skills that includes critical listening, analytical thinking, and strategic planning. So These five stages not only enhances listening skills, but it also equips students with a framework for continuous learning and improvement. Let us proceed now to our second topic, which is the dimensions of academic listening. And what is academic listening? So, academic listening is defined as the process of interpreting and understanding academic content, which extends beyond just processing spoken language in lectures. It also encompasses interactive listening that includes nonverbal signals during this lecture, such as the speaker's body language, tone, and the visual aids. So, this skill is not limited to lectures but also applies to other academic contexts like the seminars, tutorials, and online media. So, effective academic listening enables students to fully engage with the content. It leads to better comprehension and academic success. But it requires active listening, critical thinking, and the ability to integrate verbal and nonverbal cues to form a complete understanding of the subject matter. So the teachers can develop this skill by incorporating a variety of communicative practices in their teaching, and also encourage students to practice active listening skills in different settings. A pedagogical model developed by Flowerdew and Miller in 2005, which is designed to enhance the process of preparing learners for second language listening. So, this model is structured in a circular flow. So, it highlights the dynamic and interconnected nature of language learning. So, it includes four key components. These are bottom up, top down, interactive, and metacognitive strategies. So these are linked to the central concept of linguistic knowledge. First, let us define bottom up processing. So it is the act of piecing together the systems to make sense of the language, starting from the smallest sound units, or these are called the phonemes, and building up to words and sentences. So this process is essential for understanding the linguistic structure of the speech. And the second one is the top-down processing. So this is a cognitive approach where listeners use their pre-existing knowledge, such as the language rules, textual structures, or cultural context to understand and interpret a spoken language. So this process is crucial for making sense of the conversations, also the lectures, or any auditory information, especially when the message is incomplete or the language is partially understood. So, it by this process, it allows individuals to fill in the gaps and derive meaning based on their prior experiences and knowledge. So, in teaching top-down processing, it involves activities that encourage students to apply their background knowledge and their prior understanding to comprehend new auditory information effectively. And next one is the interactive processing. So, in when we talk about this in the context of cognitive models, it is particularly in how we process and understand language in interactive processing. So this is a holistic approach that combines both the bottom up and the top down processing. The model outlines a distinct dimensions that are crucial or important for a comprehensive analysis or evaluation within various contexts, such as cross-cultural communication, effective listening, and critical thinking. So each dimension represents a different perspective. Now let us discuss the first dimension, which is the cross-cultural. So, this dimension emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting the cultural differences in communication and interaction. So, this is followed by effective listening. So it also focuses on the emotional aspects of listening. So it recognizes the feelings and attitudes conveyed in communication. So the next one is contextualized strategies. So this involves using context to interpret messages. So you need to consider the situation and background information. Next is the intertextual. So it refers to the relationship between text and how understanding one can help in understanding another. And next one is the critical. So in this dimension, it involves analyzing and evaluating the content critically. So those dimensions that I have mentioned suggest that effective communication and understanding require a multifaceted approach that goes beyond mere linguistic comprehension. So this highlights the need for sensitivity to cultural differences, emotional intelligence, contextual awareness, intertextual connections, and critical analysis. To conclude our discussion, the evolution of listening instruction, particularly within academic settings, it highlights a significant shift from traditional methods that focus primarily on speech and vocabulary to more contemporary approaches that incorporate complex cognitive processes and strategies. So this change reflects a deeper understanding of the multifaceted nature of listening, recognizing that it involves not just the decoding of words, but also the interpretation and critical analysis of information. So, effective listening instruction should also consider various cognitive dimensions, from individual learner differences to broader critical thinking skills. So, by doing this, educators can better equip students with the necessary tools to engage with and comprehend um, complex auditory information that can also enhance their learning experience and academic success. So before I end this video, I have prepared an assessment to test your knowledge about the topic being discussed. So in this assessment, you have to prepare a one-half crosswise paper and answer the following questions being presented. And this will be submitted next meeting. And that would be all. Thank you very much for your time and for listening. I hope you learned something and have a good day.